This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said. Nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ready to get awesome with you on this rainy day in Beachview. It's so rainy, it's messing up the compression on my webcam. There it is. But we got the crew back in with us here today. First of all, from Studio C in the Big D, Dormont, Pennsylvania, it is John Chichilla.
That's me. I'm back like 2 weeks in a row.
Two weeks in a row. This is a record of some sort. He's, of course, the gadget guru with Big Bang International Esquire.
How are you this week?
I was looking at the Big Bank building across from another big building. I was in downtown yesterday, and I was on the level of, I was at least on the level of the park that's up there. So,
oh, nice.
yeah. So it was kind of interesting to see that. Also, amazed how many giant chess pieces or chess boards are you can see from PPG Place.
They're everywhere. They're
on the
taking over.
25th floor or whatever I was on. Also with us, she's a maven over there. The Dudas, Katie with us.
Hello, friends.
Hello. You made me concerned we lost you again. So,
Nope. Still here. Stuck with me.
we had a slight crash before this, and I'm like, oh no, I hope this is okay. But we are back with it. So, but Katie, of course, I don't know. I think I just made you famous by putting your butt on the internet. Last night. So you had a little bit of a butt battle with our friend Bradley with that participates in Wrestling Mayhem show a lot. One of the Patreon supporters over there, and he's got a thing about butts, and you're happy to plague him with it, I guess.
He hates the butts.
Yeah. So look for that. It's over in the Wrestling Mayhem show thing. Since
But everyone has one. What's wrong with butts?
But only your own is acceptable, right? Something like that. I don't know. We never really asked if he was traumatized. He also took his shirt off in the middle of my show last week, so there was a lot happening. There's a lot happening. But anyways, this is the AwesomeCast, and we try not to get too naked on here, I guess. But you can check out everything at awesomecast.com. Email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com for comments and any other inquiries. Twitter, AwesomeCast. AwesomeCast on the Facebook page and group. A lot of stories come from the Facebook group, actually, that you guys contribute throughout the week. You can subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, watch video versions on Facebook and YouTube, and, of course, join us here live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the AwesomeCast Facebook, YouTube, and the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. You can join us in the chat room. We'd like to keep an eye out for that, and you can correct us if we're off base on one thing or another here as well. So, and also thank you to our audio partners, our friends sharing the love over at postindustrial.com. And also thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast. Keeping the lights on here at Sorgatron Media Studios, Coffee Club level friends, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Kosky with Shift Collaborative, Scott McTaggart with the Pittsburgh podcast, and Mike Pound, your Uncle Crappy. And at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill podcast, and Dave Ponder with the iPhoneography podcast. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast if you guys want to support the show as well. And sometimes we have some extra chatter happening over there in your feed, so stay tuned for that. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And my spot is blank. Okay, we'll fix that here in a moment here. But,
it wasn't earlier.
What's that?
Was it earlier?
What?
I swear there was something in there.
Did you Katie, did you delete my awesome thing?
I was so mad I deleted it.
Well, fine. Then we're going to let Chilla go first. Chilla, what's your awesome thing of the week?
So my thing is, and we've covered this technology before, when I saw this, I decided to pull the trigger and I've actually ordered an extra. I actually ordered a new Raspberry Pi. I did some tests with this and it was pretty darn cool, but I wanted to use the Raspberry Pi for something else. So I actually ordered a new Raspberry Pi to replace my emulation system. And then I'm going to use the old Raspberry Pi for this, but it's called Hoobs.
Hoobs.
I don't think Hoobs actually stands for anything. It's HOOBS. Came out with version 4. And what Hoobs is for, if you have a bunch of non-HomeKit compatible devices, there's a bunch of cool people out there that are obviously writing code for free, as well as many other companies writing to this platform. And they're making it so you can integrate with HomeKit and make everything just work magically together. This is super nice if you got into the home automation tech early, or there's certain companies, Google, that are never going to necessarily make their stuff 100% HomeKit friendly. This will take all your old Nest devices or old kind of cameras that maybe you have to use the proprietary app. I haven't tried this. I didn't have any Wise cameras back then. To see if this works with Wise too. And it brings them into HomeKit. So if you think about that, right, you can now have kind of a multi-up display with all of your cameras and make it all look super cool, like you're sitting at the helm of your command center, keeping tabs on everything that goes on around the house, from temperature to which lights are on to this is your Tesla charging. There's numerous plugins there, and they just keep growing. I think, was it thousands?
Really?
I read it correct. Yeah, I want to say like
really?
they had, there's like thousands. I want to say it was 2,300, but of plugins, and it kind of acts as a turnkey bridge experience. One of the cool things for this is you have a multitude of options of how you want to get your Hoobs on. You can buy a Hoobs device right from Hoobs, which I think right now they're running a special. You can get it for $199 instead of $200. With a little bit of knowledge and know-how, you can buy pretty much any Raspberry Pi, I think from the 3 and up, and an SD card, and throw it on there. And all they ask for is a $10 donation. So price may vary. If you want something 110% turnkey and out of the box, you can buy theirs, or for less than half the price, you can kind of build your own. They do recommend plugging in an Ethernet into the house, but the cool thing is then you can plug this into your TV and kind of have an always up display. You can get to it from any browser. There's actually a Windows app for this, so if you're Apple iOS at home but then Windows on all your machines, this will get your Windows computers in the realm of possibility for HomeKit. Super cool, and they just keep churning out the updates, so
that's awesome.
Highly recommended.
That's awesome. So it's just a general kind of bridging of your system, right? So because I know I have that issue where I'm pretty much going into the Google situation, but it would be nice to, like, I'm realizing I have an issue in my living room where it's like, okay, I have an Apple TV, a Google Chromecast, and an Echo sitting there, so I can't, because I'm getting really used to asking Google to pause my TV in the studio. And it's been really nice. So I'm trying to figure out how to bridge some of that kind of stuff. Obviously, this is more like lights and stuff, right? And Wise cameras, but still. But no, anything that helps, that along, or even, I guess, resurrect. Like, I have a Sylvania smart bulb that I can never get working, right? Like, would this help with those kinds of situations?
It could, yeah, because this is going to be kind of the go-between.
Because I can see it and see what's going on with it maybe a little more directly.
Yep.
Than
they like I said, they do have one thing that you're not going to be able to do that you could do from at least Mac right now, right? They have the Home app for Mac. Now you're going to be able to get this on Windows. Just pretty darn cool.
Awesome. So that would be nice to bring, like, say, like Missy's a PC user, exclusively. So like to bring her kind of into the ecosystem, and not just on her phone, right? So like that could be helpful. Awesome. Katie, what is your awesome thing of the week?
Coasters.
Coasters.
I know. Two things that I love: Pittsburgh and bright colors. And I recently got these coasters. Sorry if you're on audio. I will try to describe them for you. They are very colorful. This is PNC Park.
Ooh.
I know, very pretty. The buildings are all different colors. I know. They're nice, cork-backed, fancy. There's Phipps. It's a very colorful painting of Phipps. And there's Bridge, Clemente Bridge, and the city down from the point. Again, so there's the local artist, and Navita. No, I'm going to totally mispronounce this again. Navita. There we go. And she's a local artist, and she does all these really beautiful oil paintings, and I love them, but I'm not much for as I have a blank wall behind me, I'm not much for having space for prints or originals. And she recently just did a line of these beautiful coasters, and I was like, absolutely, I am in. And so I think she's going to be branching out to more products, which I love, because like I said, I don't have the space or the much happening here. But I love these coasters that I got, and they're very nice. And she has a few other prints up now, and she looked like she did a mug. So I'm hoping that she keeps adding things. She has an Etsy store for the originals. I did have to contact her to order this from the post, but I think I'm excited because I think she's going to start putting more out there in regards to her artwork on different products, and it makes me very happy. Because, like I said, I love her stuff. It's all brightly colored. She does a lot of flowers. She did, like, a beautiful penguin and the elephant. She does zoo things, and it's just, this is the cathedral. She did a painting of the cathedral. Mm-hmm. And, but like I said, she sells her originals, and then she, like I said, is moving into more of these, like, little beautiful products that I just love, and has little pops. Like I said, the pop of color in Pittsburgh, I was absolutely in.
I'm loving the art on the Instagram that you linked here. Art by Nivedita, Nivedita. We'll have it linked over on the show notes, of course. Donut. Found a donut.
Right? Yeah, I know. It's like every time I look at her stuff, I'm like, and then I see something else that I just love of her work. There's even like chips and guac, and it's all pretty. Like it's gorgeous. It's all gorgeous, no matter what she's painting. Nice. Even if it's just mundane. Yeah, I love it. I love her stuff. Super nice. Yeah, and I guess it looks like she's been appearing in a few places too, as far as like setups. Now that we've got, are able to do more things and gather, she's doing some stuff. But yeah, I love her, and she's super sweet human too.
Awesome. I actually just started watching the Bob Ross documentary, which I understand probably gets a little sad. But just watch it. So I'm on our kick too, at least, watching it. So speaking of art, let's talk video games. So this is a campaign that I was aware of because I believe when I was at some of the AEW shows in Pittsburgh, there's this interesting phenomenon. Kotaku actually has a story about it where, and I thought that was just something because I remember seeing it last time I was at AEW when they were in Pittsburgh, like a year and a half ago, right? Yeah, right? Am I got my math right? Yeah, something like that, pre-COVID. And there's somebody like in front of us had all of these like video game things like so-and-so games better than Final Fantasy and things like that, right? But one thing I specifically saw was #free MVC2, which I know is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, a really classic arcade game, fighter game with Marvel and Capcom guys. Of course, there's been 3, and there's a 4th one that came out, and those ones were 3D and everything. But Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was kind of the pinnacle of that team-based, 2D sprite-based Street Fighter escalating over-the-top fighters, right? So it turns out, because this story came across my feed, and I was like, okay, so that's what that's about. So apparently it's an article over at Polygon called "The Quest to Save Marvel vs. Capcom 2." And it's kind of become, it gets into why you can't get a decent copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 these days. I personally have a digital copy on my Xbox 360, and I have a couple of 360s around with all my digital stuff on it that haven't, come over to the Xbox One. And this is one of those games that I like to play on it. But apparently, obviously, Disney purchased, with the Disney purchase and licenses going away, Capcom no longer has licenses for Marvel games anymore. There goes, having that a re-release easily accessible or on digital stores or anything like that. Because a lot of times, if you look at old Marvel games like Deadpool, I love the old X-Men Origins Wolverine game. Not really based on the movie that was very bad, but a really good game. But you can't get those digitally because, again, the licenses have lapsed and they actually pull those from the store. Just like I can't find some of the old Ninja Turtles games because those licenses have been purchased and resold across video game manufacturers here and there. So there's actually a reach out and campaign for that. I think it has not been available digitally since 2012. And if you wanted to get it, you'd have to find like a disc-based version, which sounds like they're soaring in price. So it's just one of those interesting things where, these games kind of get lost in like a purgatory, not for lack of caring, or maybe it is lack of caring on the company side. So actually, Digital Eclipse, and this is a company that I'm aware of. I see on a lot of those games. They listed a few here. But particularly, I think some of the Mega Man classic collections, a lot of the conversion, a lot of the Neo Geo fighting games come through Digital Eclipse. They really just are good about kind of I want to say remastering, but kind of repackaging old games for newer systems. They've done stuff like Samurai Showdown, Super Street Fighter Turbo HD Remix, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, those kinds of games, Mega Man Legacy Collection. So they have an in about they want to, obviously they've worked with Capcom before, so they're attempting to get something together for a re-release. But again, still, it's up to, as they said, it is up to Disney and Capcom, I believe, in this article. So just a good look at, what does it take to kind of bring back a beloved game franchise like this. I'd love to see an easily downloaded version or even just an updated version of the 360 that I can bring over to my Xbox One or something like that or whatever. I mean, I think it'd be a great game to be playing on a Switch or, or something like that. I remember there's I can't play it anymore because it's not updated for the newest iOSs, but at one point I think I purchased a version of this game on iOS. Interesting look into that kind of thing that happens. I don't know. Did you guys play Marvel Capcom at any point here?
I didn't. I was kind of under the same thing as you, wanting to play it but not really being able to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got I have the Xbox One version, but it's not Marvel versus Capcom 2. It's one of the later versions.
It's 3.
It's not as good.
Yeah, 3. It's good. It's the 3D version. It's like real crazy. Geo fighting games like left and right on Game Pass or Xbox Gold these days, so that are like 360 port overs. It's interesting to see what happens with that. Of course, this is some copyright issue. What about you, Katie? Do you dive into the Marvel Capcom stuff?
Earlier ones, not anything newer.
Okay. Well, I think this might have been around that era then, right? So.
Yeah. This is the artwork. This is the stuff that I'm into.
It's interesting because this kind of thing doesn't just happen in video games. I remember that because I was looking. I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan, and I was going through and grabbing some of the digital copies of some of my favorites. And the one thing you can't purchase digitally is Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're familiar with his work, you can't get a legit, run out to Amazon, run out to Apple, wherever, and get your favorite digital download of a movie because of back when the film was made, Disney owned Miramax.
Mm-hmm.
Disney got a bunch of blowback because of the
religious
Catholic portrayal and
the religious
in the movie.
implications.
So Disney let the Weinsteins buy the movie direct. Even though Lionsgate released the movie theatrically, Sony did the home video.
Yeah.
But digital didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
And because the Weinsteins are in all kinds of lawsuit trouble and, you know, all kinds of problems, you're probably never going to see Dogma be able to come out.
That's a shame.
Digitally. Yeah.
Is there even a Blu-ray for it? I was trying to find it here in the list here. Like, hold on a second.
I would be surprised.
There's DVD. There is a Blu-ray, but it is going for $199 on. But you can get the VHS for starting at $7.49. Yeah, it's a European one. It's an import, so I'm not even sure if there's a proper DVD or Blu-ray release in this country.
There probably wasn't. If you think about going back to the licensing and just the timing, if this was all in the late 90s, Blu-ray really wasn't.
It wasn't there yet. Yeah.
Wasn't. I mean, DVDs were new in the mid to late 90s, like just hitting.
This movie came out in 1999. And yeah, it just kind of found itself in this weird purgatory of moviness. So wow, canceled sequel. That's interesting. They did put it on Blu-ray in March of 2008. Unavailable stream due to the film rights being owned personally by Bob and Harvey Weinstein. Geez, and it's also out of print on home media. That's why some of those prices were getting ridiculous if you're looking for it. So, man, that sucks. Yeah, I'm having a similar issue. I grabbed the Cowboy Bebop series not too long ago on sale, and I've been really kind of jonesing to watch them. Now, I own the movie on DVD, so it's not like I can't dust off a disc and do that, but still, like, you know, you want the digital, right? So it's like I just recently rebought the original Transformers movie on digital just so I could. But you know, we still, like, you know, a beloved, you know, franchise like that, you know, you want a part of your collection on all formats and easily accessible, and saying, hey G, or hey A, go play this thing for you, right? Because we live in 2021. But I don't know. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. Sorry, just look at some of the headlines I put in here for later. We'll get to video games. Back to video games in a moment. But first, want to give a shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcast with the perfect pepperoni pizza, New York City style. Yinzer made, Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills, supporting us here right up the road here in the Beachview neighborhood. If you're in the area, please go support these guys that support us. And if you're not in the area, you don't have accessibility to Slice on Broadway, please, we do encourage you to support your independent pizza joint. You know, to help them out, especially coming out of everything over the last year and a half. So let's get into what's next. Let's stay with the video game thing for a bit. Chilla, this first thing I got on line 2. I feel like this should be your story. Well,
and it's funny because I'm surprised that we're getting this before we're getting, you know, the Skywalker saga. But and who posted this? I apologize because I don't know. This isn't mine, but Lego Star Wars Battles is coming, and it's coming as an Apple Arcade exclusive. I'm also wondering, is this a setup for there's going to be a Apple TV exclusive with a Star Wars Lego story at Halloween? But it looks like it's like one of those card type games where you're going to flip cards and be able to collect certain things and then kind of put them in a tower defense scenario.
Okay.
You lay down your towers and then you defend and attack based on your claimed territory. And of course, obviously following along with the movies, they're going to have Hoth, they're going to have Naboo, they're going to have Endor. There's going to be a number of these places. But like I said, I'm surprised this made it as an Apple exclusive.
They've been getting a lot. They've been getting a lot lately. I mean, there's a Monster Hunter game on there, like a Monster Hunter Stories. I started playing that, and it's wild because I was playing it. I can't remember if I was playing it on my phone or the Apple TV, but it feels like something you would completely play on a Nintendo Switch.
And that's what I like about this. I mean, the thing that I like about Apple Arcade is to be in the arcade, you have to be on the TV, on Mac, and on the mobile devices. So you can kind of, it follows that Switch theory of you can pick it up and take it anywhere, or have it on the big TV at home.
Yeah, I don't even have to think about it. So, and then say the TV just recently got upgraded, so I know I can play all these things, because I was starting to get a little long in the tooth on some of these. Like you load a few of them, and it's like, oh, I'm waiting a while. Also remembering that's an Apple TV from like 2015. So what was the phone then? Like, what were we talking about? Like an iPhone?
And that's
6?
usually 2 gens before the phone.
Really?
Usually they get a chipset or two from the prior.
Yeah.
Phone.
So yeah, because I mean they're not terribly. I mean they talk about like about $200, versus a phone cost. So obviously you don't have antennas and screens and things part of it, but yeah, no, I'm loving the pickup bit with that kind of stuff. So although it is interesting when you get into certain things like puzzle games, and you're like, okay, how is this going to translate over to the controller? It gets a little wonky, but I love they're bringing in. I just started playing a little bit of Asphalt 8 today. I love that they're bringing in like games that were definitely freemium games before, and now I can play them without the freemium crap in it. You just kind of go for it. And like I love the Asphalt games always looked really good on these things. So, but yeah, all the plus relaunch kind of stuff is kind of great right now.
And they really did themselves a favor with the arcade launch, because if you remember back in the day with Apple TV, one of the requirements to create a game for Apple TV was it had to work on the remote control.
Yeah. And that's why you only got like Sonic the Hedgehog, and then they give up. They didn't even put Sonic CD on it. That always bothered me, because there was such great ports of like Grand Theft Auto 3, and actually I think all the PlayStation 2 era Grand Theft Autos, and they just never came over and with proper, because they didn't allow the support of just a controller, and now we go to this. So like it was like, could we retroactively just pull all the rest in? I don't know. It was supposed to be remasters of all those old Grand Theft Autos, so maybe it'll come back around to the mobile Apple TV situation again too. So yeah, I'm consistently amazed. Also, did you know Brawlhalla is on the mobile? The Smash Brothers type freemium game that
it's also on Apple TV.
Is it on Apple TV?
Oh no, I knew it was on mobile. I didn't know it was on. Now you have me. I knew it was on mobile. I thought you were saying it was available on Apple TV.
I wasn't aware it was on mobile, because I was playing a little bit on the Xbox and a little bit on the GeForce Now stuff on my Google TV. And I was like, oh hey, it's over here too. I don't know how I discovered it, but also I don't think I can link all the different forms together into one account like I can Rocket League. But no, first world problems.
Hey, that reminded me of something.
Yes.
Go down to cell 14.
14.
14. Something sneaky popped up on Disney Plus.
What?
It's episode 2. If you've been watching the making of the gallery, the behind the scenes, the making of The Mandalorian, they dropped how they did the season 2 finale. And if you don't know what happened by now, but a lot of Mark Hamill stuff, how this all came together, how they had to keep it a secret. I did watch it last night because I didn't realize it was even a thing, that it surprised me. But really good behind the scenes look of how they did that whole thing, and what, the deep fakes, and how they decided to do it. And they analyzed so many hours of video of Mark Hamill and him speaking, and it's just, the whole thing is really tech heavy and was super cool. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. I've seen, I don't know if I saw him sharing like some of these pictures in here, like him with the child, Grogu. I've seen on social media over the last week, and I think that probably came along with this. So but I didn't realize that was like an episode that they had put on there about it. So that's going to be in my watch list tonight.
Yes. And it's adorable watching him with the child. Like, he's just holding it like it's a real thing. It was so cute.
Oh, man. Mark Hamill's great. Fantastic. Let's see. I got another one. I don't think we talked about this last week. Xbox is going to be bringing cloud gaming to your Xbox consoles in time for Halo Infinite. So that means if you got a lowly original Xbox One like I do, you'll be able to play with your properly awesome gaming internet connection, your Halo Infinite at full, like, I guess at least Series S level quality, right? Over streaming regardless. So, I mean, you could download it. It's supposed to be compatible with the old Xbox Ones as well, but of course it's going to look not quite as good. And your load times are, oh boy, load times are starting to get to me on the Xbox.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I mean, I still have the old, well, I do have the 4K model, but I didn't see a significant, like, load time increase until I put an external SSD on there. And my load times were just cut significantly.
That might be it too. So, well, I was playing Hades, which is fantastic. It's a top-down isometric like RPG beat 'em up dungeon crawler kind of thing. And I know I was playing on a cloud, and I was like, oh, I'll throw it on the Xbox One so I can play it over here. And I'm just like, what is this load screen? I don't remember there being a load screen, you know. So no, definitely worthwhile for that, you know, just to not have to be like, oh, hey, I love that, like, that push button, let's go load a game, and sometimes I'll load it on my phone to try it out, you know, before anything else. So, but you know, really looking forward to that to be, you know, just kind of everywhere right now. So especially since my Xbox is like direct connected into the modem, so I know it's going to work versus like where I want to play it in certain rooms of my house that are kind of sketchy with Wi-Fi. It is a pain because it is like you need to be like close to your router in order for it to work most of the times, and it's just like, well, that kind of kills the idea of it being mobile, doesn't it? But and again, it seems to work pretty okay on 5G as well. So.
The one thing I read that this will also help with is, if you're like me, I don't always, it seems like I turn my Xbox on at the most inopportune time to play a game, and then it's like, there's a 7 gig update for this game. Come back in 25 minutes, which is like, I have like 25 minutes to play right now, and well, I guess it'll update.
It's a pain.
You'll now be able to obviously stream and play while it's downloading.
I turned on my 360 here in the studio for the first time in months, and it wanted me to log into my Microsoft account. So I had to go find that password and the weird capitalizations and everything in it. So, hey, you know what's easier, and you probably don't have to do that if you need something pick up and play. And actually, this is something for Mini Chilla's bedroom, I think, is the idea. How about a pint-sized Pac-Man and Paw Patrol arcade machines? That's better than my pepperoni pizza thing. So
it probably cost me a couple pepperoni.
Yeah, pizzas. a couple of those pepperoni pizzas. Yeah. So it's Arcade 1UP, who's been doing those fantastic cabinets for just a couple of $100 for the most part that you can find on Walmart usually. But they are doing again, it's a Pac-Man Dig Dug Galaga setup, and then there's a Paw Patrol one that they've done. So, you know, again, so you can, so your kids can have a little bit of a arcade experience in their house. The Paw Patrol system also features Chase is in a Race, Paw Patrol Off Duty, and Paw Patrol Pups on the Go games. So both of them include 3 different games. I am not going to vouch for any quality of the Paw Patrol games here. They look pretty simple. But anyways, I don't know. That's kind of cool. I still want to get one of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. They had giant ones at Steel City Con, and I overheard them, and they're like, "How much are these things?" They're like $4,000. I was like, "Whew." But also, I saw somebody in the interface. There's definitely not up and up, because I looked through and there was like every console was represented on there, including like the original Xbox. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this one. So, but they looked like they were pretty good builds for those as well. Do we have any other video game stuff before we move on here? I think that is it for those, right?
One last video game thing that's down. I don't know what your guys' thoughts about this are. Did I put in the wrong thing?
I see it. 3 hours of video
Thoughts on,
games.
yeah, 3 hours. So yeah, China passed a law.
Oof.
Sounds
Yep.
like, if you are under the ages of 18,
Mm-hmm.
you are limited to 3 hours of video games per week.
A week.
A week.
And
it doesn't. What really questioned me, I'm like, my kid usually goes to bed before 8 o'clock on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
But not only is it 3 hours a week, but it's time framed between 8 p.m. Friday evening and 9 p.m. on Sunday.
Wait,
so you get an hour a day
for 3 days.
For 3 days.
And that's it.
But 3 of those days, like Friday, you only have from 8 to midnight.
Yeah. Sorry, I had somebody knocking on my window.
Oh, no
saying
problem.
Hi. So,
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. That just seems limited. They're saying that not only is this going to like impact their competitive gaming teams, right? Because people aren't going to be able to start young.
Right. Wow, there's something interesting happening in China right now in general, because you haven't caught their I don't know, sort of cracking down on like social companies, basically, saying that the kind of the celebrity and all that social TikTok-y kind of stuff is bad for their society. So they're doing something about it and trying to promote more hardware-based technology companies. So yeah, there's something of a technology culture war, I think, is happening in that country right now. And it'll be interesting to watch. And they've always been kind of limited on video games. Like, for a lot of major console don't exist there that I'm aware of. Like, I don't know, is Nintendo there? Like, or Nintendo just came in like a few years ago or something like that. Like, there's something that's been limiting them. So, yeah, it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot for that kind of thing. So, I don't know. What do you think, Katie?
I don't know. I think it just it's not very much time at all, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to impact. I don't know. Then you think like people who sell video games, and you know what I mean. They're just like kind of trickles down to who it impacts.
And doesn't it limits, because what I don't know if it says in the article, Chilla, but like is the idea is spending time on this versus more productive things, correct? Or going outside or things like that. It's like,
well, are you really going to go? Maybe it just says they were banning it for mental
health, because there's been a lot of
mental and physical health.
Mental and physical health, but it also it's like, what if you are not mentally, but physically disabled, and this is your escape?
And
right?
This is your way of interacting with other kids.
Yeah. I mean that's. I mean, how many you've seen that, right, Chilla? Mm-hmm. This is how the kids are making friends and etc. there. So like I think the effect on the whole is more detrimental than what they're trying to prevent on the minimum, right? So, but that's not knowing that whole societal discussion there. So, well, speaking of society, how about the society of LinkedIn and something else getting the axe over there, Katie?
I had to laugh because I didn't. It was like, I think it was there for, so LinkedIn is scrapping stories feature to push more short form videos, and I feel like it was like barely around, introduced in September last year.
That seems right. Tweets. That seems right.
Yeah. And then it's going away. I'm sorry if that was your big thing and you were super excited about it, but it's going away.
One less thing to worry about.
Yeah. It was one less place to create stuff and put things. But yeah, it was just interesting. And the folks that found out first were people who were advertising in like their ads that ran in between stories. But I think...
Hey, thanks for putting all the money into this thing that we're killing.
Yeah,
and that's gonna. And I know. We've both seen these discussions over on our Slack for social media about the things that are going in in and out and getting canned and that kind of thing, and what that does to your planning, right? Mm-hmm. So if that's like, hey, LinkedIn's a place that we do this, and okay, we got the stories, and that makes a lot of sense, and we're developing things specifically for stories, and now you just don't. and it's just like, okay, where does that go? But I mean, that's part of it, is seeing these things come and go. As I think I was mentioning about OnlyFans last week, if you are not in control of your platform, then you're at the whim of it, right? So, and that's the same thing with LinkedIn or anything else. Man, I was really good at fleets. Well, sorry, you were the only one. So we decided that's not a thing anymore, right? So I'm looking at memberships on YouTube as a potential option just to kind of break into that audience a little bit. And I also realize I'm not going to deprecate my membership services that are not on YouTube, because I don't trust YouTube. Because YouTube, you saw how your butt was age restricted on YouTube.
It wasn't even my bare butt.
That's right. That's right. So I mean, if they think it, if they think it's something that, they want to restrict, there's just nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna fight over music. I keep saying, it's like, I have rights to this music, and then it's the person also has it through CD Baby, and they've been denying me lately. They used to not deny me, but it's like there's nothing I can do about it except replace the track at this point with the royalty-free music to do monetization, so, which just sucks, because I want to, I'd love to, it's somebody I want to support, with something like that, but they throw the monetization on it, and it screws up my whole thing that I'm trying to do. So anyways, not to mention what Twitter's been doing to all our wrestling friends who are doing workouts. Yes. Yeah. Chill. Have you heard about this? So what do you do when you're a wrestler? You cut a promo on somebody. You say they're going to kick their ass, right? Now you're in violation of Twitter's policies, inciting violence or implying violence. So multiple people that had large Twitter followings gone.
Banned.
No recourse. They have to start new accounts. And like one discussion I saw is like, hey, if you're going to do this, like, switch to videos. They can't scan the videos, right? Or like they're not, Texas, they can look for keywords, and there's enough of that, right? So like that's a thing. That's a thing you got to watch out for now. Remember a year ago, last summer, when everybody was cracking down and everybody was getting quick bans and everybody was getting flagged and under review and things like that, right? Like because they decided to, because of other things going on that has nothing to do with the kind of things that we do, right? So you're at the whim of all these platforms. So remember that. I hope you have a backup platform, or you're driving traffic to something that you control if you're trying to make money or a community on these platforms. All right, and this has been my TED Talk.
So when that happens to your account, does it get? So this is where I think, and we were talking about like the link trees.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens to your account, is the account locked or is it deleted?
Katie?
It depends. Yeah, it depends. So if you do, something else a lot of our friends are getting hit with on Twitter is they'll be working out and they'll have the radio on or whatever in the background.
Yes.
And they're getting, and these aren't videos who are recent. These are videos from a little bit ago that they're going through now and finding, and they're supposed to be warning you about copyright and all that good stuff, but you don't necessarily get the warnings, and then you essentially, your account they don't delete it, it still exists, like your page is there, but it looks like it says 0 followers, not following anyone.
Yeah.
And then is the bio still there?
Yeah. So your bio
that's why I think the link trees are important, because if you have a link tree in your bio, they can always hit the link tree and then get to, and like there's so many people that I've seen recently either posting backup accounts or posting their link tree or posting wherever, like, hey, if I get banned, here's how to keep following me.
So, and also keeping that, like, do your Dudas.com, right? And that goes to your link tree. So of like, oh, hey, my Twitter's not around anymore, you can update that link tree, and people know. They're like, what happened to her Twitter? And they go to Dudas.com and like, okay, here's the new one, or here's where else she is or something, right? Because Dutter's been putting too many butts on the internet, So and Twitter said that's enough. It's enough of your butt, Dutters. Okay.
She got banned from OnlyFans.
Yeah, you got butt banned. You got butt banned, Dutters. So But
all right.
So, it's going to be a problem. I mean, something similar has happened several years ago. Remember when Pepsi got angry because of a beheading that was going around YouTube? And one of the fallout things from that were there were promotions that do very well in the independents, and they were putting clips up of their wrestling matches, and all of a sudden, they were making a pretty good bit, a nice bit to support their small independent wrestling business, and then YouTube just deprecated anything that looked even a little bit like violent content, which meant pro wrestling as a whole. And everybody got demonetized for that. It killed your business plan is YouTube. Man, I hope that's only a percentage of your business plan, right? And you're putting that money into something else in case that goes away. Like, that's the biggest thing, like that everybody's going to have to learn. All these kids, getting monetized on TikTok. Some TikTok can change their minds. TikTok, the owners of TikTok might be a sketchy thing in a country that likes to do things like limit video games for 3 hours a week. So, who knows what's going to happen there, but from that to another platform that wants you to make money on them. Twitter's got something going on. Twitter starts launching ticketed spaces for some iOS users. So now that fleets are gone, all I see are the Spaces conversations at the top of my my iOS app. I keep wanting to do it. I keep wanting to port this show into it, but also I keep remembering this is only on mobile, and even this ticketed Spaces, I want to have a conversation. I want to have the Sorg TED Talk about deplatforming that I just had on Spaces, right? And I can charge you guys $5 a pop to come in and listen to that. A non-recorded thing that's going to happen there, right? But only if you're on iOS. So I guess that's a big enough user base, but that seems like a pretty limited start spot. What do you think, Katie?
Sorry, I'm just looking at what you're putting up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I think it's great because it's another place to make money, but it's also another place to put your content and
yeah, well, in this case, it's talking, right? It's taking time to create an audience, or maybe you have your audience and there's something else you can do with that audience you've created. I don't know too many people should be doing this from scratch necessarily. Hey, we want to have our AwesomeCast conversation. Maybe we'll have an AwesomeCast post show over here and everybody drops $1 in or something like that, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of kind of options you can do with that. So, sorry, I just sound partner. YouTube is Buttist. Is Bradley involved with YouTube somehow? Yeah, that's possible. That is possible. So, but I don't know. It's another option. It's another option.
It wasn't last week we talked about, was it Spotify that was doing something with their podcast where they were putting it where you could subscribe for anywhere from like $1 to whatever outrageous amount you wanted.
Yeah, it was the subscriptions thing and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so we're seeing, I mean, it seems like there's a lot more subscription-based stuff for creators popping up all over the place now. I
mean, and again, hey, just like we're seeing with the OnlyFans, and we can roll right into that story after this, but like we're on Patreon and we make, we pay the bills for this and Wrestling Mayhem show. It justifies those things still existing with the money that you guys on Patreon do. Use it. I already almost ran afoul of Patreon user agreements when I talked with one of them, a representative over at a conference a couple of years ago. But they can decide we don't want to support wrestling violence podcasts, or we say something weird on our podcast and they decide they don't want us to be a part of their platform anymore. We have no recourse, right? So maybe it's good to diversify at least. And hey, we got Patreon if you like that, but the same stuff is over. You can subscribe to us on iTunes subscriptions and Spotify and things like that. But anyways, how did I get over to this? So I was trying to lead into a different story, wasn't I? Oh yeah, OnlyFans. Turns out the porn's okay by them.
What made them reverse?
The backlash and realizing how many people
gonna lose all their money.
So how many people that already had audiences already went to other platforms and realized and this sounded like there was a mix of the MasterCard implications on this and investors. Like there was a banking issue on top of this as well. It looks like it was more than just one reason that went to the original call of them saying no nudity porn content on OnlyFans starting in October. So they retracted that. But still, I mean, if OnlyFans is my thing as a creator, and I'm doing something in that realm that they were going to ban, I'd be a little concerned about that, right?
Well, I know I've seen the conversations with friends that did have content on OnlyFans, and like the platforms they're talking about, that there's so many more out there. Like OnlyFans
absolutely.
And a lot of them gave the ones that they're migrating to, give the creators much more money instead of, it sounds like OnlyFans was taking a decent amount per thing, and it's so I am glad that people are like, I'm out, especially after all that. Like, you make up your mind, or support your creators. But the big discussion that's come out of this is that Visa and MasterCard have become the morality police for the internet. They put the thumb on the scale for Pornhub about some things, and actually, honestly, some things that Pornhub probably should have been taken care of up until that point too. Some really not okay content. But also, in doing that, they killed a lot of the I think amateur content on Pornhub. Is that right? Like everything needs to be verified a little more stringently now in order to put your content on there if you are a creator on Pornhub. So and whatever you think of the kind of content, that's still a restriction on creators. What if YouTube needed to have everything verified that went on there? It wouldn't exist, for one thing. That's what Section 230 is for, right? So. Yeah. So that's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be that's going to take a chunk out of OnlyFans as a company, but we'll see what the next OnlyFans is going to rise up beyond that, right? So what is Cheeterz Club? It sounds way more, I don't know.
It sounds like a segue from my last story.
It does, but it's way more boring.
Oh, good, a boring one to end the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it could be. Let's talk about sexy. We're all getting old. And
the ever-aging AwesomeCast, yes.
Yes, and rumor is once you hit that 40-year-old mark, your eyes start to go downhill. Not necessarily everybody, but that's usually, if you talk to your optometrist, they'll tell you that's the point where things kind of go downhill as far as your ability to read small print. And this new club, a Cheeterz Club, it's CHEETERZ, is making Cheeterz, those little glasses that you wear to see things up close, cooler. So they're really supposed to be affordable. They're chic. They're super cool for guys, gals, and theys. And they also have blue light blocking. So they're trying to incorporate all these things.
Wait. This is a very leggy picture for showing off glasses.
Look at my glasses.
They're really going for that sexiness, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Because now, 40 is the new 30. 30 is the new 10. I don't know. But yeah, so this is, if you need glasses to read up close and you need Cheeterz, this is the sexier way to get them. And yeah.
Who says eyewear can't be both fashionable and feasible? All our products were designed by experts in a luxury eyewear and handcrafted, use high-quality materials at surprisingly affordable prices. The ever-elusive win-win-win. What? What? We took a leap, didn't we? So, oh, man, I'm not hipster enough to get these glasses. Look at this.
I know. We're not cool enough for these. But
no.
If instead of just going to your local drugstore, your Rite Aid, your Walgreens, you can go online and buy these much cooler looking. I mean, there's some really nice frames, and they look really cool. But thankfully, I'm not knock on wood, I'm not at that point. But this tomorrow could change.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it looks like it's the oh geez, what is hold on, where did I get these glasses? It's the iBuy Direct for Cheeterz. Because that's all I get. I keep and honestly, I keep thinking, and now I'm thinking about now. I'm going to make a note for myself because I keep telling myself I'm going to buy a second pair of glasses because I always buy the glasses when one breaks, and I'm walking around with tape on my glasses for a week before they come in. So I need to have the backup. I'm always just like, I have the one pair and we go. I need to stop that. That's a bad habit, and I'm going to get in trouble at some point. I thought I lost my glasses the other day actually, and I was like, I can't leave the house now. So how do I tag? How do I tape an Apple tags to these things? But anyways.
Oh, that would be great. Having an Apple tag or something where you could just put them on your glasses.
Mini Apple tags. I mean, they'll probably come. They're you know, this is the company that makes everything thinner, smaller, and charges more. You know, every year. So like, oh man, am I gonna have to replace all my Apple tags? Of course, the Apple tags, the things that I put under a piece of gaff tape in the middle of a in a road case. So they're just like tucked in, like they're like a camera case with the foam that holds everything in, tucked into the side. Gaff taped in the inside of my my video switcher, in an elusive pocket in my backpack. You know, it's just like they just go everywhere. The most. In a pocket in my wallet, and I don't wear my wallet in the back anymore. The only like seeable one is my like now Apple keychain. So it's which actually I thought about this. If you're ever getting a rental car and you're worried about losing your keys, because I always had this like Missy was always telling me leave your keys at home because you don't need to take them with you. And I was like, wait a minute, why don't I take my keys with me? Put the rental car keys on my keychain, and now I won't lose the rental car keys whenever I'm out and about. Right?
Perfect.
Am I crazy? So, especially since I've really kind of, I'm down to like the house and the car key. I don't even know what the rest of the keys were on my keychain. I had like 3 rings on here, and I'm like, it just kept amassing. I'm like, what are all these? I have no idea. So I'll discover one day. It's like if you have keys on your keychain, you're pretty sure you haven't used in over a year. You should probably put them in a drawer. Put them in that junk drawer in your foyer or something, right? So this is my other TED Talk for this episode.
I feel like though for your keys, like you would need one of those. I'm not big on like that metal ring that you kind of have to pinch apart to get your keys on there. Like right. It would annoy me putting keys on and off there from the rental car.
I think it's acceptable. But how often are you getting rental cars?
Oh, very, very rarely. But even then, like I want like, do you remember the old like hooks they had, and it was like this screw thing that kind of released part of the key holder.
What if you got a carabiner? What if you got a carabiner?
Do they have one of those that'll fit? Do they have carabiners that'll fit like the keyhole?
Well, I mean, remember when you get a rental car keys, they're usually on a
they
ring.
Are usually on like.
So if you can just carabiner that thing onto your thing, and you're good to go. And basically, this now becomes you put your carabiner on here. Am I saying that right, Katie?
I think so.
I think you're one that taught. Yeah, I think you're the one that taught me that term. And you know the hook things, the easy hooky things. Google it. Not if you're driving. But
how do you spell it?
I don't know. Is it a C? With a C? I don't. Maybe.
C.
So
C.
now
there's going to be like a lot a lot of climbers mad at us right
yes,
now.
Yes, I'm sure we have a large rock climbing contingent listens to the show.
Carabiner.
Yeah, that thing there. It looks different than mine. But
well, this is a legit.
Oh, that's like that. I'm gonna climb some freaking walls. One.
Like some climbing gear. Yeah. Water.
Why do you have climbing? Do you climb?
No, I do not. Yeah, right.
But you're afraid of heights. You're not climbing anything. I'm surprised you got up on that chair last week.
I know, impressive, huh?
So, but anyways, you put your carabiner on here. You got your Apple tag. If it's important, you put it on the carabiner. You don't lose anything. Problem solved. This has been your AwesomeCast for this week. Chilla, thank you so much for joining us again from Studio C.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
He's looking up carabiners. He just got a lot of carabiners off of Amazon. Katie Dutters, what's going on? What do you got going on your socials these days?
Oh, just all random stuff. I just liked my friend's cat picture. Art just posted a picture of Betty, and I liked it.
Okay, all right. Important stuff happening over there on the socials.
Obviously.
Kate Marie BGH, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
So,
and K-Dutters on Twitter. If you want to see what I like.
Yes, and butt dancing and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yay.
at Sorgatron on the Twitter. Please go. I am on a road trip this week. I'm leaving Thursday for Kingsport, Tennessee. We're going to be doing an MMA pay-per-view down there. Looking forward to that. And I may or may not have a wife with me. That depends on what this tropical storm does to the flight plans for tomorrow. So, so producer Missy may be returning to this time zone on tomorrow evening. So excited for that. And that is all I think I have to plug. Everybody have a good Labor Day. Go take it easy. Cook some hot dogs or veggie dogs, whatever your preference. I know some people are, I mean, it's not even meat, let's be honest. But thank you, everybody. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Potter and Amanda, hanging out in the chat room. Oh, is that how you spell carabiners? Just bought a 4-pack, she says a little bit ago. Dollar store cheaters aren't hip enough. MasterCard specifically has gone hard. The social conservatives really hit them hard. Yeah, that's the other thing. They're attacking those guys, so that's why that's come through. But thank you, everybody in the chat room on whatever platform you may have been joining us. We'll see you guys next time. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.